Welcome to Reddit Talk, where I'm going to be covering WWE today. In the future, it could be a mix, some AEW. We could be talking about CM Punk, Impact Wrestling, Matt Cardona, who was known as Zack Ryder. I could be going all over the place, but right now I'm just going to stick with WWE. Let me know down below in the comments section what you think on any of these threads that I'm going to be covering. What went wrong with Ziggy? It's real simple. It's called booking. He didn't do anything wrong, inside or outside of the ring. I think the locker room heavily respects him as a veteran. He can put on such an amazing performance. He's a safe worker, knows how to sell, take bumps. That's just what it is. And it's sad because you'll have a lot of the younger guys that are up and coming, but sometimes I feel like if you're up and coming and you're not that great and you're old and you're great, then just have them still wrestling. Like what happened to Bobby Roode, remember? They were the Dirty Dogs. They just kind of phased them out. Great look, everything, and just boom. With Bobby Roode, I remember him with Beer Money on TNA there, and it was just amazing. So that's just it. He basically got Zack Rydered. That's really what happened there. People with tremendous talent that you may not have really known was there all along. Look at Cody Rhodes, how he was booked before, and now look at him now, and you're like, I didn't know he had that in him. Okay? So yeah, just poor booking is really what it is. Something that I roll my eyes, or blink my eyes rather, a lot over. With the merger now complete of UFC and WWE, what UFC fighters could you see making a crossover into WWE? Someone said CM Punk to be a smartass. He went to UFC from WWE and then, okay? Conor McGregor is the first one that comes to my mind. I mean, a legitimate fighter that actually does really, really well, is great on the mic, can really put on a show, right? I mean, anybody who knows Conor McGregor knows what I'm talking about. I'm not saying a guy like George St. Pierre couldn't do it, but I'm just saying in terms of the charisma, being a mouthpiece, oh boy, it would be a real banger if Conor McGregor came to WWE. You never know. It could happen. I mean, look, Ronda Rousey came over a couple times. Not to my house, the WWE, that is. So yeah, let me know what you think. They want Roman to beat Hogan's streak. So Roman right now is at 1108 days as of the making of this video. So he would literally almost to the day have to hold on to that belt until September of next year. After WrestleMania, he could lose the belt at Survivor Series 2024 as an example, and he would have beaten Hogan's record of 1474 days. Now, I already got a glimpse of the first comment down below, but it doesn't matter because I was thinking the same thing. It's kind of stupid, and it's not because Roman doesn't deserve it. It's because he's a fucking part-time champ. Don't have guys like Roman, with all due respect, beat all these crazy records, holding multiple belts, and not defending them. When CM Punk was champion for 434 days, or whatever it was, close to 500 days, he defended that title. I can't remember the exact number, but it was astronomically higher than when Roman had hit his 1,000 days as champ. It was like he had held it a little bit more than twice as what CM Punk had, and it was And I get what Roman is doing. I'm not faulting Roman, the human being, for what he's doing. He's given the opportunity. He's like, yeah, I want to hang out with my family and stuff like that. I want to be part-time, but I still want to be breaking some massive records, setting milestones. That's the part, no offense, that I'm kind of against. Really. And especially with the fact that he's got 2 belts, but now it seems like he's just the one champion. Like, what are they doing with that other belt? Well, they pretty much got rid of it since now they've got Seth with the undisputed heavyweight championship. So Roman Reigns now went from being like, if I'm really tired, but if I'm not mistaken, he went from being like a double champ, but then when they unified it, right, that's the whole word, unified, he became a champ of 1 belt, which is why they just call him the Universal Champion. So then they finally gave him, after like 1,000 days, his own frickin' belt, which they should have done a long time ago. And then they should have just had him lose that belt to like Sami Zayn or just somebody else, and then introduce the new belt to replace the heavyweight championship. I probably confused you there. They shouldn't have had Roman as a unifying champion for so long, and then you had one brand that didn't have a heavyweight championship. But that is a whole discussion for another day, because some people don't believe that Raw and SmackDown should each have their own heavyweight championship. Raw and SmackDown should each have like their own, you know, one's got the Intercontinental Championship, the other one's got the United States Championship. I still believe that each brand should have their own tag team championship. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the Usos, they broke a record with the belt, longest reigning champs of all time, but they had both belts. But then again, the tag team division's weak, so they just kind of held it unified. Anyhow, I'm sorry, but it's probably going to happen. I could see it happening. I don't want it to happen. And it's not, again, because he doesn't deserve it. It's give it to somebody that is able to be full-time, not part-time. That's the part that bothers me the most. So it's nothing personal against Roman Reigns. This is Curt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, on Sid Vicious or Sid Justice, however you would remember him, his body. If Curt Hennig had Sid's size, would he have been WWE champ? He wouldn't have. Are you kidding me? Mr. Perfect was huge. He was bigger than Bret the Hitman Hart. He was like the same size, if not bigger, than Macho Man Randy Savage. Definitely bigger than Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. And that's all like 80s, 90s stuff. 80s was a little bit more the big boys, like your Hogans and your Ultimate Warrior. But even then, look at Macho Man or Macho King Randy Savage. Okay? He weighed about the same as Mr. Perfect. So for me, this kind of makes no sense, because I don't think that would have made a damn difference. I think if he didn't get so hurt in those early 90s, once the steroid trial really picked up, he might have been able to be one of those guys. Who's Curt Hennig? Mr. Perfect. You really didn't. Well, I mean, different generation, right? Some people don't know who that is. Nakamura pick that goes hard. I just wanted to show you this because it's such a cool picture from the vignette. This is a guy that, to me, could be like in movies. Not everybody that's in WWE could be in movies. Just the way he talks, his expressions and all that, even though they might seem a little bit animated, they're not overly animated. You could tell it's genuine. It's just it's a part of his personality. He would make a wicked heel in like a John Wick movie or something like that. Like, he would do amazing, amazing. I'm just so glad to have him back. Really, I don't have much else to say about it. It's just a picture, right? I know it's got 1,000 words, but I don't remember taking this picture. WWE and UFC have officially merged to form TKO Group. I must have been sleepwalking or something. 1 win. It's actually about 2 wins and 33 losses, but you get the idea with The Miz. He's a 2-time Grand Slam champion. This is just in the year 2023 so far. He's got like the, oh my God, who was, I'm usually good with names and numbers. Zack Ryder's partner. Not Mojo Rawley. And he had like a cane. Oh my God, his name is on the tip of my tongue. Anyhow, he was always losing. He had like the longest streak of always losing. I honestly don't know why they have the Miz. To me is like a Dolph Ziggler in the sense of they've been around a really long time, but they're still in, well, at least the Miz's, unfortunately, not Dolph Ziggler. They're kept in the main spotlight. It does bother me. It's one thing to put, you know, the new and upcoming talent up, but there's no need to bring it to this extreme, because I feel like even though he's a 2-time Grand Slam champ, it actually almost diminishes, ridicules the integrity of him being a 2-time Grand Slam champ. I mean, some people like Finn Balor, Grand Slam Finn, he's only a 1-time Grand Slam champion. There's very few people that have done it twice and then just constantly lose all the time and are made to be a mockery of. I really don't like it, and I don't understand it. I really, really don't. Dennis Rodman, one of my favorite basketball players of all time. He was in the NWO with Hogan. It was awesome. On the news there, it says Dennis Rodman, 2011 Hall of Fame inductee, 5-time NBA champion, 2-time DPOY. Former member of NWO. No. But when you're in the NWO, you're in the NWO for life. Yeah. And his buddy Kim Jong-un, who went on his grandfather's green metallic train and went to visit Putin. We're not going to get into that because that story is for my 3rd YouTube channel. But yeah, just wanted to show you that, and that was kind of funny. For those of you who consider Brock Lesnar as the greatest, or at least one of the greatest of all time in WWE, what are your reasonings? I mean, they're pretty simple. First of all, you have the look. You have the credibility. He went from WWE to UFC, became an actual legit world heavyweight UFC champion, comes back. He's an NCAA champion. He's the real fucking deal. You know what I mean? Like, he's funny when he wants to be funny. He's incredibly funny. He is super believable. The look on his face, the veins that pop in his head, his poise, his character is just unbelievable. If you remember in the early 2000s, back in the day with him and Kurt Angle, he was really funny. When he was like with Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman was his mouthpiece, he really didn't need that mouthpiece at all. Brock is very capable in literally every avenue possible. It's just, he's literally like a once-in-a-lifetime athlete. The guy is like near 300 pounds and can move around like a middleweight in the UFC and keep up with him from a cardiovascularity perspective. It's like, are you kidding me? Oh, yeah. Literally, for just like a combat athlete, this is it. Like in the 80s, it was all about Hulkamania and Hogan. No. This guy is the real fucking McCoy. Yeah. Thoughts on the main roster superstars going after... Thoughts on people in WWE's main roster heading on over to NXT and stealing their belts, like Dirty Dom Dom with the NA title. Becky Lynch has now won the NXT championship. What are your thoughts on that? Me, it's really simple. I don't mind it as long as you're actually going to defend it and you're soon thereafter going to drop it to somebody, because whoever you drop it to in NXT is going to elevate them. And then when they come over to the main roster, they're going to have that much more of a list of accolades under their belt. Okay? So that's my thoughts on that. And then you bring it over and then to WWE on TV like Dirty Dom does. And then what that essentially does as well is it could have more people wanting to tune into NXT that normally wouldn't. So to me, I'm not against it, but don't hijack them a la Roman Reigns style. So that's that. Oh, what was your first reaction when you saw Nia Jax return? Remember how I was just talking about Hulkamania? Well, this is like Botchmania. I made that joke when I was covering Raw there yesterday. I think she's related to Ridge Holland. And I know I come across the real asshole, you know, things can happen and all that. What has she done in the time that she's been away? Has she really honed in on her craft? Only time will tell, but from what I saw, we almost lost 2 women that night. Okay? So yeah, I wasn't excited. I don't think a lot of the fans were, and it's nothing against her, like as a person, you know what I mean? Like, but as a competitor, she's not, you know, I don't really think she's somebody that people missed. Yeah, but I'm sure she's a great person. I mean, I don't know her personally, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, my first reaction was Botchmania. I started thinking about Brie Bella, Ridge Holland, you know, some others to name a few to add to the list. Who do you consider the best WWE referee? Now, that didn't say of all time, because that'd probably be Earl Hebner, because it's so, like, nostalgic. Charles Robinson for modern day-ish in the last, like, 20, 25 years. Probably Charles Robinson. Probably because I've had some interactions with him on Twitter. He's just a super, super nice guy. Very humble. His facial expressions, just how he goes about doing his thing in the ring. He's the ref that I probably, over the last couple decades, easily, like, remember the most. There's another one as well, but I forget her name. But yeah. So, Charles Robinson for me. And then really quick, Stone Cold and a Young Punk. This would have been like early mid-90s, before Eminem. So then I made a comment. Get it? Get it? Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Ha. Because it's supposed to be a joke. That CM Punk was technically the real Slim Shady. Because he did it first before Eminem. And then someone, that's what I said, and then somebody replied and said, somebody replied and said, Eminem didn't even exist. I'm like, correct. That's why I said what I said. But anyways, yeah. And that's how I remembered the 1108 days. Because the ticker keeps moving every day. They keep track of it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that shite. Let me know down below what you think of anything that I covered. If you want, that is. It also helps the algorithm. Making me more relevant in the search results when people are looking shit up. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally that'd be great. Oh yeah, if you liked it, thumbs up. Didn't like it, thumbs down. And I'll make sure your mama forgets you like WWE has forgotten about Ziggler. So yeah, take care. And maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.